Now I'm 19 and I'm 22.
There we go. Oh, you got a singer there.
We do have a singer, and thanks to this little man, we're now in the studio. Jeez Louise.
Wonderful. You're going to have to be interviewing him in a couple of years then, isn't it?
I have no idea what's wrong with
him in a couple of years.
I just don't know what's wrong with me, but I just love the studio background.
Well, nothing wrong with you. Sweet. Okay, well, hello, and welcome to the Rock Metal Podcast, and I am your host, John Harris. On my right-hand side today is my right-hand man, Gabriel.
The blue eyes have homegrown.
The blue eyes have homegrown. Today on the Rock Metal Podcast, we have Keeper, and he's got a new EP called Guess I'm Keeper, which is releasing on March 19th, 2021. Right now, I'm being joined by Emanuel to share some more information about Keeper, this EP, what's been happening, and then also as well, Gabesy is here because, well, he's on lunch break. People love him.
And this guy plays Minecraft, apparently.
Apparently this guy plays Minecraft. So we're going to chat about Minecraft and Twitch. I'll probably hand the interview over to him. We can chat about that. But Emanuel, welcome to the show.
Hello. Wonderful to meet you all and talk to you all. Hopefully it's going to be quite a bit of fun.
I think it will be quite a bit of fun. You know what? I'll hand this over to you for like 2 minutes. You can ask questions about Twitch and Minecraft. Is that cool?
Not really. Maybe later.
Maybe later. Okay, we'll do it later then.
Maybe at the Minecraft chat area.
Maybe at the Minecraft chat area. Well, that's kind of the basis of this whole thing because the documentation I have across my desk here, Emanuel, is that, quote unquote, it all started over a game of Minecraft.
Yes. So at the moment, it was March, April, basically a year ago, quite literally a year ago, we were just entered our first lockdown in the UK. I had nothing really much else to do apart from go to work. And so that was quite boring. One of my friends hit me up saying if I wanted to join in on a Minecraft server. And I thought, yeah, why not? And he was Twitch streaming it. You know, he started to grow his following, his fan base on Twitch. And it was amazing watching it grow. And when the other guys he asked to be on the show, the server with, is a guy called John Cass, who's a keyboardist or pianist for the metalcore band, UK metalcore band called As Everything Unfolds, who are releasing their album about now, and they've so far released 4 or 5 singles and music videos recently. And obviously Jack the Envious has known them before. I didn't know John Cass liked the sort of music I liked, in addition to hardcore, metalcore, metal, all that stuff. And he really liked, the hip hop, the R&B stuff, which I've been brought up with, to be honest with you. And he started making beats, and then I sent him a couple of stems, in between Minecraft games, going to the Nether, where we died and lost everything a couple of times. And so I sent him a couple of beats, and he turned them into guitar samples. He turned them into beats, and he sold them to his clients. And eventually, he made one. I was like, oh, I love that. I love what you did with that. Can I buy it? And he was like, yeah, sure. How much do you want it? And so I bought we made a whole bunch of beats. When the first lockdown ended, I went over to his house, did a bubble, and made a whole EP. And finally, that EP, almost 6 months later, is finally coming out.
Wow.
Very, very, all over a game of Minecraft.
All over. So yeah, there was Minecraft. Did you want to talk about Minecraft now?
Maybe in 20 minutes.
Maybe in 20 minutes when the interview is over. Perfect. Now, you mentioned watching a channel grow over Twitch, and I myself am fascinated by this idea of watching somebody else play a video game rather than just going and playing it myself. But I've learned about this through Gabriel and through my wife, because they'll watch people play games on YouTube or Twitch or whatever. So evidently, I imagine it's probably pretty easy to do. But take us through that. What was that like? So
just the whole... it's something I won't lie. I've been doing for a couple of years, is watching other people play video games. When I wasn't able to afford the Xbox, I'd go onto YouTube. Mostly the Yogscast. There's a whole bunch. Sea Nanners. I used to watch Sea Nanners doing Prop Hunt, and it was just. I think what was good at the time was because I couldn't afford an Xbox. It allowed me to still play those games, even though backseat driving pretty much through it all. Mm-hmm. And on top of that, there's just a general sense of community because it's fun to see different experiences. I was watching a guy who's blown up on Twitch at the moment, Hassan, who does a lot of politics talk, but he does video games. At the moment, they're a big GTA role-playing thing where they're creating these individual characters and these huge servers, and they're just playing through that. There's a guy called Pokélaws, and he's hilarious. It is quite literally comedians playing video games, and you might as well just be watching live at Apollo with GTA right in front of you, because it is quite literally that. You do it for the individuals, as I'm sure you tune into a podcast for yourself, or you tune into a radio host for Chris Moyles on Radio X, a big British radio station, for the same sort of reasons. You tune in because you like the music, you like the game, in other words, and you like the presenter and how they talk. You like the jokes, you like the community that's around them. It's like a whole combination of things. So I don't think you're just watching a video game. You're watching you're watching a piece of entertainment, I think is a better way to phrase it.
Mm-hmm. I've never heard of Radio X, but I'm on their website right now.
Oh yeah, there's a main guy, sort of Chris Moores. I mean, he's been in the industry. Radio 1, the main radio station in the UK. He used to do that, and then they kicked him off for some younger guys. And then he started for Radio X. So Radio X is mostly British alternative music, so indie, like the Blossoms or 1975. They mostly play, to be honest with you, they mostly play Oasis. And if you're a member of my family, you're not very keen on that, to be honest with you.
Oh no!
It's unfortunately, we're not Oasis fans in the Andrade household, unfortunately.
Oh no!
But they play a load of Foo Fighters and things like that, just like classic, to be honest.
I feel like there's two keys to success: watching a video game and playing a video game.
Okay. If you can do it somehow at the same time, you're winning.
Mm-hmm.
You're winning.
Groovy. Then you mentioned creating these beats. Is this what we're hearing on the record then? Is what came out of that?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's a combination of sending emails with Google Drive links filled with guitar samples, because I'm trying to learn how to record. I'm not a very good recorder. I've been playing guitar, doing the computer stuff, so wasn't quite my thing. So I'm slowly learning, mostly by watching this guy make the beats out of my guitar samples, because I've always been able to write guitarists and things like that. So it's finally turning something together, because I've been in bands for years, and it's a lot of depending on other people. And so this was mostly, as long as I could get down a structure and a whole bunch of like rough ideas, he could turn them into something. So it being only two people really sort of cut away, all the fat, and made the process a whole lot quicker. It's blooming fast. You can see while I don't know if you've seen on YouTube Finn McKenty, the punk rock MBA. He does a whole sort of music business, and he was saying that this sort of music is almost the next punk. It's got the same. I could sort of see that. Well, I don't want to sound too full of myself, but it's a sort of similar mentality. It's do-it-yourself, DIY. It's you're not trying to spend as little as possible, on rubbish cameras and things like that. With the same sort of mentality that I sort of see when he talks about old bands like NoFX and things like that.
Okay. Now, I think I've heard of the Punk Rock MBA. Now I'm on the website, and it turns out we are members of the URM Academy.
Yeah.
And it turns out this guy is director of operations for the URM Academy.
What?
So
I did not know that. This is probably the most exciting day.
He's got some great videos, both on the business side and just talk about because music is also inspired by fashion, and there's this whole TikTok goth emo thing where the boys go, all those cringy videos that we'll say cringy, with the quotation marks, because I know some people enjoy those. But it's this sort of fashion sense at the moment, the quote unquote drip, and it's a sort of music that sort of responds to that, and especially I guess at the moment where forming bands is incredibly difficult at the moment. And it's really, if you're doing it on your own or with somebody else, you're sort of leaps and bounds ahead of anyone else at the moment, because obviously you can't meet up. You can't go see your friends. You can't go to a rehearsal room. Can't hear a live drum kit at the moment. Well, at least in the UK. Mm-hmm. It's the only really way to do it currently at the very precise moment in the UK is solo. And it's a lot easier as well, like managing a Facebook, managing a Twitter, because you know what you want to put out. You have a direction and you're not butting heads over business or musical differences. It's, similar. Just go for it,
Exactly. Now, something that Gabriel picked up when we were listening to the tunes is something, as you mentioned, was like hip hop beats are definitely getting a lot of trap influence into it. And I also noticed that you are in the pop punk band Jack the Envious. So I guess, how did you separate yourself from Jack the Envious, or was it just natural for you to create something that was...
My guitar style is different to the standard Jack the Envious. I grew up playing Rage Against the Machine. I have a Rage Against the Machine poster there. Hardcore, and more standard pop punk. While the new Jack the Envious stuff that hasn't been released yet is very now old school pop punk. Before it was, had some technicality aspects to it that my default playing style doesn't have. I like chugs, I like power muting, I like, basic punk, hardcore, 4-chord structures, the Ramones, that's the stuff I grew up playing,
Yeah.
And it follows a simple thing. With these trap beats, it's you pretty much only have really 4 or 5 guitar ideas. You have the one guitar idea, and it's just very simple. It's just the same thing, and you put it half step down. You half time it and it produces a low frequency. It bum 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 compared to the original bum 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 bum, and that's the whole verse. And so it's pretty much very simple guitar melodies just stacked on top of each other, basically like nursery rhymes. It is quite literally how sort of old bands, like old punk bands and Blink-182 sort of did it. There was no technicality to it. It was just very simple, dun 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 dun, over different melodies and things like that. It's the same sort of thing. And so this style was more my guitar style in a trap beat song compared to Jack the Envious, where I have to adopt a persona, a band. Because when I joined Jack the Envious, they were already Jack the Envious. So I had to learn how to play like Jack the Envious, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. That's very true.
But
you mentioned it's changing. I mean, this isn't a Jack the Envious interview, obviously, but that was kind of an interesting thing you mentioned. Yeah.
So we got a whole bunch of new stuff, and it's super, super exciting. It sounds more like old school Newfound Glory. If sort of does and it doesn't, like old school emo scene rather than the 2014 wave or the 2020 wave where everyone does try to sound like state champs. There's a more. I'm not saying it's not inspired by those bands as well, but it's more akin to the old like emo bands, like the Academy is. For some reason, some of the guitar melodies sound like the Academy is. I don't know if you remember those guys at all.
Vaguely.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm going down a Blink-182 rabbit hole to the Dude Ranch to listen to some Damn It.
Oh, yeah.
Because as soon as you mentioned that, I immediately went to Damn It in my mind. About how that's just one of those classic riffs. And I can't remember what it's called, but I mean, even the Beatles did it.
The 4 or 5. I know. Yeah. I think went to ACM, never really bothered with Music Theory, and now it's coming back to haunt me sometimes, to be honest with you. So wishing I learned a bit, so I didn't go just playing by feel, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, without getting into music theory, I might call it like a boogie riff that eventually turned into rock and roll, which eventually then,
Yes. Yeah.
Damn it.
That's not how the song goes. Now, something else here as well, because there's a few focus tracks off of the record, and there's 2 music videos. So there's a music video for Homegrown, there's a music video for Blue Eyes.
Yes.
And then one of the other focus tracks was Frog.
Frog.
Yes. Yeah. So Frog will also have a music video. I believe it gets released this Friday. I believe.
Okay.
That's when the single comes out. The Frog is the more experimental. So it's mixing trap beats with real life drums. So I'm super excited. I also wanted like some huge chorus, because I love songs where there's like a build up, there's progression, and so I wanted something that sort of emulates that, especially because it's the final. Wait, not for me. It is the final song on the EP. So I wanted something huge with loads of like double bass drums, like loads of simple fills, a bit of crash, and I had a mate hop on who was the Twitch streamer on the Minecraft. He also plays drums, and he does a whole bunch of other stuff. It's a guy called It's Just Ben. At the moment, he's doing a whiskey YouTube channel where he reviews whiskey and tells you how to drink whiskey properly. He does a whole bunch of other stuff. He's in a company called Forgotten Media where they do music videos and things like that. I just asked him if he could do some drums, and he just sent me a whole bunch of stuff perfectly free off the goodness of his heart. Did with the room samples already a mix. I just had to plot those in the original file, and huge. I love the way the drums sound. It's using Get Good Drums from Misha Mansour, I believe, the Periphery guitarist.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I would call it an up and coming sample pack, but I think it's already come. It's already here. People like to get good drums.
Oh, they're brilliant. They're brilliant. It's like if you don't have the God knows how many pounds or dollars you need to get a fully fully kitted out drum room with drum mics and a good drum kit, then Get Good Drums for £50 or however many dollars is the next best step, pretty much.
Yeah, that's always a fun thing. I remember chatting with a couple of bands about whether or not like Amplitube or Get Good Drums or something is worth the price. Like, so let's figure this out for a second here. You're an Amplitube plugged into a real Fender Blackface using a real Neumann U87 using their signal path. You realize that's like a $10,000 setup that you just got.
Yeah.
Like, why did you
for like
do
$100?
Yeah, why did you do that?
So if you don't think it's good, then okay.
Yeah, I know some people don't think it sound, but they sound good. And really what you need is something that just sounds good enough, something that just fills the void that it needs to fill. I have a Kemper. I do have a Kemper, and I have loads of other amps, to be honest with you. I always buy secondhand because they're so much cheaper, to be honest with you. And but honestly, hearing the Kemper that has thousands and hundreds and millions of amps in it, and then hearing what it's meant to emulate, I can't really tell a difference. I know there's a difference there because when I focus on, I can hear it.
Yeah.
Sometimes. But honestly, you don't know if it's a placebo effect or not, because this stuff really sounds good, and that's all you really need is just something that fills the void, that just sounds half decent, that can get the job done. Really. Exactly.
That's how my wife felt about me. And
love it.
Oh, sorry, I'm going to leave you alone.
Cool. Theme tune. Brilliant.
Yeah. Is there a theme lyrically to the EP?
So basically, so it's mostly watching a lot of videos, seeing a lot of Facebook, Twitter posts. The lockdown has been, this whole coronavirus situation has been extremely difficult for everyone. I've had a friends that's have to dealt with somebody passing away at the university. I've had friends losing grandparents and things like that. And not being able to see your family as well. It's a hard time for everyone, especially on top of that. If you're working all the time, there is zero chance that you're going to get to relieve any of the stress, go out and see friends, because you're just not able to. Even if you normally don't want to, that freedom of just having the option is gone. So you're almost constantly working at the moment with no social interaction. And I think it's been extremely difficult with people's mental health. So I just had all these songs are varying degrees of various different emotions that people have been feeling during this 2020/2021 pandemic, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, makes sense. How did you get to do the music videos then? Because it looks like you were... Oh, I felt like you were mini golfing or something in this Homegrown video. You're doing something.
Oh, yeah. So I found a guy on Fiverr. So it was about when... it was, funny enough, just before the second lockdown. Thankfully, I managed to get them all done before the second, which was... It was so stressful. So that was recorded about middle of summer, so August. And I just found a guy on Fiverr going cheap. He just wanted to do a bunch of videos just for his folder, just to show that he's done a whole bunch of videos, just to make, bunch up his CV, I guess you could say. And so he was going dirt cheap. I think it was £150 for 2 videos.
What?
Which is, it's madness. And then that was for Homegrown and Frog, the one that's going to come out. The one for Blue Eyes was a mate with a phone, basically. It was just what was available at the time. Had my friend does acting. There's a crazy park, roller coaster park near me that also does like Fright Nights where the actors dress up as zombies and things like that and chase you around the park. And one of them is a hired actor for there, and he's a mate. So I just got him to be in the Blue Eyes video. Didn't have to pay a thing for Blue Eyes, pretty much. He obviously gave a bit of money for petrol and thing for the mates, but that was it. So really, the whole music video cost me hardly anything, to be honest with you. And I'm really happy. Like Homegrown and Frog are obviously the better quality ones. Those are recorded on actual cameras, but for £150, that is a deal, to be honest with you. Just because the guy just wanted to get stuff done.
Yeah.
And so that was like going to a golf course, asked the feature guy. We went to a donation store, picked up a whole bunch of clothing up for like £10 each, all my mum's socks, and then went to the golf course, paid £6 for a crazy golf each. Didn't bother playing crazy golf. If you watched the video, just mucking about, to be honest with you. And then after we finished making I'll tell you what, we had to go all the way upstairs to this canteen area, and there's a bathroom there, and getting changed, pulling up your socks, walking out the canteen. At the time, most awkward thing, because you just felt like you looked like a right idiot. Looking back, watching the video, we don't look that daft, but at the very moment there, oh dear, it felt like every eyes were on me. Doing the mustache thing, oh dear, it was both brilliant and awful. But overall, I'm super happy with the music video. The sort of idea for the music video was, I guess it was a theme slightly different to the song. So the song's overall theme is trying to break out of a mold, trying to do your own thing for yourself. That basically is the theme of the music video. So the theme of the song. So the music video is sort of like golfing, after you finish work, golfing on the Friday, sort of that thing. And it was sort of copying, I guess, video games, because video games, your mouth doesn't match up always with the with the words. So that was sort of the idea, was just being an idiot on Friday after you finish work, which quite literally I did for them.
Cool. All right. One of the other odd questions I kind of had was, you mentioned you've got a friend who started a YouTube channel doing whiskey stuff.
Whiskey?
Yes.
And I mean, obviously there's a lot of whiskeys in the world. You could do that for quite some amount of time. I'm just curious. I guess, what is my question? Because the funny thing is, I have a podcast. I've been doing it for a while now, obviously. I'm on YouTube, et cetera, et cetera. But if you were to say to me, John, you know how to do blah, you should go start a YouTube channel, I'd tell you to go piss right off. Like, it's not, there's so much work involved for like so little. So I'm just kind of curious, how does it feel to have these friends that are doing all this stuff? Is it actually working out for them? Is it meeting their expectations?
It's inspiring, to be honest with you. It's inspiring. And I think because there's a lot of downtime at the moment.
Yeah.
People have been able to, I think some people have had the amazing opportunity, such as myself, to focus on things that we wouldn't otherwise normally have the chance to do. For instance, the friend who's at the music whiskey company, he obviously his real job is doing music videos for bands. He can't do that at the moment in lockdown.
Right.
So he's had to, I guess, not only make money, I guess, I wouldn't say you make money at early stages of YouTube, really.
No.
But just to keep his mind busy and to find enjoyment in something that isn't sitting in front of a computer sending emails, I guess, something that will keep him busy. And I think that's what and it's brilliant. I know absolutely nothing about whiskey. The only time I know anything about whiskey, the only thing I do know is that it can get you drunk. And so I use that knowledge, just that knowledge. But in terms of like savoring the taste, getting the whiskey odor, to properly funnel up your nose hairs. No idea. He's doing the video all about that, like the class you're meant to use, which isn't a random Coke bottle, Coca-Cola bottle that you sort of sawn in half just to get whiskey in for a Coke and whiskey. But like the glasses you're meant to use, or how you're meant to drink whiskey, because there is apparently a right and a wrong way. I did not know that. Yeah. My version was just inhale it pretty much. And that was the only time I can drink whiskey. I can't even drink it then. I hate the stuff, to be honest. It's too strong. I mostly just drink ciders.
Yeah. No, I mean, perfectly honest, there are only a few whiskeys that I can actually have. The rest of it just tastes like poison, and my body
does, yeah.
My body won't take it.
My body doesn't want it.
Yeah. We're not meant to have whiskey, I don't think.
Yeah, there's... I'm good with fermentations. Like, I'm good with a properly made beer or a properly made wine. But when it comes to distillations, such as hard liquor, I find it's mostly miss a little bit of hit with me.
I have to have anything that's had a boat ton of fruit in, so, which gets bits of odd looks from my dad, just like frown of disgust there as I turn up with a fruity cider. But it's cheap. I like the taste of it. It reminds me of fruit juice, so I'm gonna drink it.
Oh no! You show up with like a mojito and an Oasis T-shirt on. He's like out right now.
If it tastes good, it's good.
Beautiful. Okay, well, Keeper, my good man, Emanuel.
Yes, yeah.
Guess I'm Keeper. Not that I was trying to sound like you at all.
Rage against the machine till you die.
Rage against the machine until you die.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, we chatted.
Hello.
There we go. We chatted about Minecraft, Twitch TV, selling hip hop beats, Jack the Envious, fruity drinks. We chatted about Homegrown, finding a guy on Fiverr who charges just about nothing. We chatted about Blue Eyes Frog, filming things on your iPhone. We chatted about starting YouTube channels, how to drink whiskey.
We chatted about a lot of things in just this amount of time.
I know.
But there's gotta be more.
Dad's a pro.
I
Got
know.
all the questions.
Boom. Okay. Was that it?
Yeah.
That's it? Это всё, as they would say in Russia. Это всё. That is all. Cool.
Fart.
I don't think they'd have a fart noise. They are very serious people in Russia. Russians don't fart. Okay. Cool. Was there anything that I missed that you wanted to chat about?
No, that's it, pretty much. I'm happy with that. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Cool. Beautiful. Well, then thank you so much for coming on to the Trip Hop Metal Podcast. The Rock Metal Podcast.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I'll catch you later, mate. Cheers, thank you.
Hello, or should I say goodbye? Thank you so much for listening to the Rock Metal Podcast. I've been your host, John Harris. Please head over to our website at www.therockmetalpodcast.ca. There you can sign up for our newsletter and find out more information about today's show.